I'll do us, them, and then them, yep. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for your patience while we had some technical difficulties. We're going to be meeting tonight with the school building committee to discuss the middle high school project. First, we're going to have 3 different committees call meetings to order because we all have quorums, and then we will get into the presentation. So first, this is the meeting of the select board, Monday, August 25th. I have Ellen Rosenfeld here, Craig Schultz, and myself, Erin Underhill.
And to call the school committee meeting to order for also Monday, August 25th. I'm Sean Powers, I'm here. Shana Canistrari is here, and Robin Briggs is here.
Oh, hold on 1 second. 1 second, sorry.
One more.
Go ahead.
John Laura, Chair of the Millis Finance Committee. We have a quorum here. We have Mike Crone, Brett, Eric, and Heidi, and myself as a quorum. Thank you. Oh, Joyce, I didn't see. She snuck in. We have 6. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry.
I'm Richard Nichols. I'm here with the school building committee. I have Diane Germain, Jim McCaffrey, and Al Beltour here for the committee. Oh, there's also non-voting members in the back, sorry.
Okay,
School administration.
excellent.
Well, actually, I was going to read my introduction for, so on one of that, I'd also like to, so welcome everyone.
No. Hold on 1 second. Can you tap the mic and see if it, okay, go ahead. Yep.
Really close.
Not
4
close.
inches.
It's better?
Yep.
There we go,
Yes.
sorry, okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I also want to mention that we have here from the school, we have the town administrator, Mike Kaczynski, the principals, I think the principals are here, Patrick Nash from the high school, and Anna Hurley, Director of Facilities, John Engler. We also have the representative from the architect, Chris Blesson, and our owner's rep, Jeff D'Amico from Vertex, just so everyone knows the players.
And
the
Bob
school
Mulaney.
superintendent.
Oh, and Bob Mulaney. Hey, sorry, Bob, you were further down the list. All right. Anyhow, one opening statement. Thank you for being here. Tonight, we're going to be presenting the final option for the renovation addition to the Millis High Middle School. The committee and the design team had 2 main goals. Number 1, upgrading both the building itself, replacing outdated, worn-out items, and bringing the building up to current standards for education. And number 2, which is equally as important, managing the budget tightly, understanding the impact on taxpayers. The design that we're presenting tonight meet the goals we set forwards due to all the hard work from the school committee, the design team, the school building committee, and our owner's representative and the architect. This option presents the best value for the citizens of Millis by partnering with the MSBA and getting the state to chip in approximately 50% of the cost of the school. So, and with that, I will pass it on to Chris.
Doesn't matter. So the agenda tonight, as Rich alluded to, we did intros. Chris is going to walk you through the design, then I'll talk about the schedule and budget, and then next steps. So with that, Chris will present.
All right, good evening. So the Millis Middle High School has gone through quite an extensive design process, and sort of it was needed. The space needed to give to the project to understand exactly what we could do in the right value proposition for the town. And so I think we're really excited. Our firm, the entire project team is excited about what we've landed on and what the future could hold for Millis with this project. On the screen, you can see a rendering of the site as it sits today. The Clyde Brown looks like the Clyde Brown right there, above where it says Middle High School right there. And then the high school is the portion where the note points to that. And so the project is proposing to take the one end of the wing off. That's the last wing that was built and the one that has the most efficient space in it for classrooms, as it so turns out. And then where that green area is where we proposed putting the addition. So that's kind of the lay of the land. When the high school comes back to, when we kind of walk through the plans, you'll see this emerge as the addition and then the existing to remain portion. And so this is a little over 50% addition, 50% renovation and then in addition to that, to the building. And so the next slide shows a site plan that has the new proposed building on it, and the tan portion is the addition to the building. The current thinking on that is in the way that it's been programmed so far is that the addition is the middle school, and the high school would be in the existing portions of the building to remain. And then these two elements are built around a center core of shared spaces like media centers, arts, athletic spaces, the cafeteria and auditorium, and things like that. And that is, if you were designing a middle high school from scratch, that is kind of a common way that you would go about it, is you have two separate schools that are linked around a common core in the center, so they can come in and out of that as needed. This next slide shows the floor plan, the proposed floor plan, and so again, you can start to see how that lays out. The high school up in the top left of this image, the middle school at the very bottom of the image. And then one of the key benefits of the project is getting a new gym, and so this gym would serve the high school well in creating some new capacity for sporting events, but also sort of right size all the elements that sporting events can happen in there. And then where the gym is currently, we're actually moving the media center into that space and creating some alternative PE programs. So half of it would be a media center and half of it would be alternative programs. Go to the next slide. On the second floor, it's a similar approach where we have the high school top left and the middle school bottom. And on this, you can see where the most sort of renovation work is happening, if you will, like the most walls are moving, and that's really because of the science wing up at the top. Those classrooms, one of the key drivers of this project was the unsafe size of science rooms because they were undersized and you can't hold as many students in them and still maintain these science standards and curriculum that we teach now in 2025 and beyond. And so one of the key aspects of this project that we came about through the space given, we did an analysis and big study on that, was that we should reconfigure the high school wing to accommodate right-sized classrooms for science. The next image is, or next slide is a series of axon drawings. Really, this is just to help you see the addition in another way. So you can kind of see the third dimension there, but you see the extrusion of the two-story classroom wing for the middle school. The existing to remain is all white. The addition is that sort of pink color. And then on the bottom, you can see a section through the site where you have the Clyde Brown right across the driveway, up sort of perched up high on the hill. And then as it kind of flows down, you get to the existing school. And then even further down is where you run into the addition for the middle school. And what that was done is, the reason that was done is to show how the context of the site matches. So we're not proposing putting a 4-story building here in the middle of, rural Millis and next to a elementary school that's 1-story. And so we're just trying to show how the sensitivity of this plan also matches its environment and the campus that it's on. And more to that, we are looking for a palette that enhances the campus feel, both not from the two schools alone, but also from the entire municipal campus you have here. So it's this building and the two school buildings across the park. And really, we're not looking to do anything super new or like extravagant. We just want to make these buildings fit together as a homogeneous piece. And that was one of the things started with the Clyde Brown, as we were trying to bring that forward with a sort of more modern take on some of the materials like brick patterns and stuff like that, but it's still the same palette of materials, and we propose doing that too on the middle high school. The next slide shows a series, the next couple slides actually show a series of drawings that will highlight that to you a little bit. So the brick is the red color. That is just a modular brick size. And then the upper windows of the gym are this polycarbonate panel. You have them on the Clyde Brown, but they do a really good job of letting light in but diffusing it so that when you get early mornings or sunsets or any time of day, there's not a direct glare issue into the gym, but it really lights them up. Most of the gyms with this much clerestory really don't even need to use the lights during the day. Then we have this stone product. It's a actually split face block unit. It's a little bit more cost effective, and it helps us break up sort of the entire palette a little bit on the gym. And if this goes to the next round, we have some work to do to finalize all of this. But what we're trying to do at this phase is grab price points and budgets so that we know what we're working within and sort of the desired outcomes. And that's what Jeff will talk to you about in a minute, is the budget. And that's why these slides are showing you the character, quality, and scope of the project. So when you talk about the numbers, you kind of have a rail for that. The next slide rotates down, looking from the south northward. This is like if you're in the football field with your drone hovering over the field, or on the bottom picture, it's an elevation, so you're actually standing in the field. And you can see again here that really bringing what's here already into this addition and we'll do some brickwork details at the end of the day where we might pull some bricks out to create shadow lines and stuff like that. But that's not really that much extra cost at all. It's just detailing to make the wall look nice. And the next slide is rotating even further around to the west side, where you can see the courtyard, but also the two entries to the school. So there's the middle school on the right there, and then the high school's over on the left. And so that's how we envision this coming together. And then the middle is a courtyard. So there used to be a building here on the end, and you'll see in the site plan, I think, or we have an image coming up where you'll see some of the site circulation, but this would be a new drop-off area for cars, help bring some of the traffic around to the back side of the building, which really becomes one of the front faces for drop-off and pickup of the school community. There'll still be community entrance around the front. And then this image is from the road between Clyde Brown and the high school. The bottom set of images is us showing, there's lots of different ways to sort of look at architecture, but this one was us looking at the reconfiguration of science wings created moments where we had walls that landed in windows to get the right size spaces. And we also have an issue with fighting the sort of climate and all the sort of energy efficiencies that we need to hit. There's a lot, the window ratio here was really high. And so you have a lot of glass, as you can tell, it's just ribbon windows all over the place. And so one thing we were trying to do was help your energy bills in the future, but also help the plan shake out like we needed it to. And we can take some of that glass and make it solid walls, infill panels in the openings. And so the green spots are where you see us starting to play with that, and you can start to get a sort of creative palette there around making those moves. And then the last image I have to share is this sort of updated rendered axon of the site from the ball field. You can see the addition coming out. It does move the fence behind home plate in towards home plate a little bit more on the baseball field, but from what I understand, there's a passed ball could score about 3 runs if you got that. So that might not be a bad thing. And then on the top left corner, you can see the sort of parking and drive aisle that comes along the edge there around the middle school, and how the building comes along. This site plan, you can see that too. So we have the site plan that allows for buses there, and then the cars would come around where the blue circle is, or blue arrows, and drop off there. So that's what I have, and I'll turn it over to Jeff to talk about schedule and budget.
So schedule, right now we're wrapping up the schematic design this week and submitting it to the state, where they'll go in front of their board to have a vote for the overall project. It'll come back in front of the voters this fall. And then with a successful vote, there's about a year of design and permitting to go through in order to complete this project. And so we'd be bidding it about a year from this fall, and then starting construction in early spring of 2027, as soon as the ground thaws out and we can get moving in March of 2027. We envision about 28 months overall of construction, but there's multiple phases within that portion. The bottom star here represents the first year and a half where we would actually open up the middle school wing addition, move in there, and then vacate the existing high school. I included in your packets a lot of the phasing plans. I wasn't going to go through all of them tonight because I know a lot of you have seen them, but I do have them available should you guys want to go to that level of detail. But essentially, you move into the middle school, then you vacate the back portion of the high school, renovate that, and we keep that one wing that will be demolished all the way till the end of construction, and then we demolish that on our way out the door. And I can show those slides tonight if you guys want the details of the play-by-play. But ultimately, the project wraps up in summer of 2029, so about 2.5 years overall of construction on the campus. The overall budget, so the committee's met many times over the course of this year to talk about numbers. We've met in front of both of your committees in February when you guys were narrowing options down, when you looked at that value proposition of the various levels of addition and renovation only, and new construction. And the option selected was the one we presented tonight. Right now, the school building committee has established a not-to-exceed budget of $125 million. Unlike other projects in towns where you appropriate design only, feasibility, then come back for design, then come back for construction, the MSBA makes you lock in the overall budget at 30% design. So the images that Chris showed you tonight, as he alluded to, we need to buy scope and buy material pallets to really understand what we can deliver the building for. We have to have those important decisions now in order to set a ceiling for your budget, but also have enough contingency in there to protect yourself so that, when you award the job in 1.5 years from now, and when you open the school, in 3.5 years from now, at the completion of the project, that you've carried enough money to go through those stages. So we kicked the tires on that and drilled down to all levels of items, and we felt that $125 million was the right number. And I do want to note that that does include the previously funded $1.3 million, so it's actually a net value coming back to the taxpayers for a vote this fall of $123,700,000. The MSBA process, it's where I had to put many disclaimers on it. They have final say in everything, right? We go by what they feed back to us in terms of the communication loop. So when you three boards submitted your recommendation back in February, we submitted that proposal. They came back with a list of comments of things that would be eligible, ineligible, areas we could tighten up the building. The building committee looked at those areas that were ineligible and removed some of them. They tightened up the overall size of the building, the size of the gym. We looked to get all those elements back in there. So, I'm happy to say that the reimbursement percentage has gone up dramatically from where we were back in February. And that's because of the hard work of the building committee. We've also drilled down on the finishes and the materials. Again, really drilling down on what the building's going to look like allows us to actually put it into place where we feel comfortable to deliver the number with the building we've shown you to date, as opposed to leaving loftier placeholders that could be dialed in a later date. The goal of that is ultimately to bring a number to the taxpayers that they can support. So, right now I'm putting the ranges here that, I think the way it's kind of lining up that, somewhere between $61 million to $67 million in reimbursement could be available, and the town share could be as low as $58 million up to $64. I'm thinking the reimbursement is around $63 million based on the feedback we've received to date. Some things that are going for the project that I think will help are that you're not substantially renovating the auditorium. That's a very large space from a square footage. But to date, the state hasn't said us that they're going to exclude that square footage. So that helps get that to the higher end of the range. We're doing some interventions in that space, but work's already been done in that zone to refresh the look of it. So we're really just doing life safety and some lighting in there to really bring that up to current codes. But it's an area where if they make that ineligible, it's about 6,000 square feet as an example of the overall building, and can play with the number. And it's why I have to kind of give you guys a range, because to date they've not said they're not going to exclude it, but there's not a lot of scope in that particular zone. One of the benefits of ad reno and shrinking the addition was that also helped with the ratio, right? We took the ineligible piece out of the addition and we maximized the renovation pieces, and so that helps that ratio go up from what I presented to you guys back in February. A high-level roll-up of that from a big picture standpoint, this is included in your backup packet as well, is that all in with the building cost, the minimal site cost for the site circulation changes, and the construction manager fee, that all comes out to $98,600,000. Between all your furniture, fixtures, and technologies, about $3 million. All your consultants throughout the project and the design team, including earmarks for things that could be applied but not necessarily are they committed to, is about 10.6. Your owner's project management team through all the way through construction, which we ramp up staffing when we get to the construction phase to be your eyes and ears and work with the principal day in, day out to minimize impact to students, is about 3.8. Other administrative costs all roll up to about 1.7. And the big debate that we had as a committee was what's the right number of contingencies. And so we came to the conclusion that $7 million was the right number and still a very comfortable number. As I explained to the building committee and to you as well here, is that Traditionally, on an ad reno, I would carry 7.5%, and on a new build, I would carry 5%. You've ultimately chosen a hybrid there where we have a third of the building is a new and 2/3 are renovation. But of that 2/3, you're not substantially renovating a large section like the cafeteria and the gymnasium, are not getting major overhauls. And so we really looked at that. Because you're going with CM at risk, they also have some contingencies within the line item. So we were really comfortable lowering that 7.5% back down to 5% range and feel very confident in the number that's been presented in front of you. And so as I alluded to, the range that we think about is somewhere between 62 to 67 million from the state, but we think it's around 63 from the state and about 61 from the town of Millis. But the MSBA does have the final say. Your reimbursement rate is at 58%. Including the renovation portions that we project them to give back to you. They will have final say this fall once we submit it, and that'll go in front of their board. But ultimately, in the past, and including Clyde Brown, your effective rate drops dramatically. So in the case of Clyde Brown, you were at the low 50s before, and you ended up at 40%. This time around, because you're being very frugal with the money and spending it wisely, you're maximizing all that money in the renovation where you're getting bonus points for and not spending it on the addition and being very wise with your dollars there. And so that really allows that to really claw back up to where your actual base rate is at the 58%. So we think we'll be north of 50% when it's all said and done with the MSBA.
Can I ask a quick question about that?
Yep.
So you said that the MSBA will know in the fall what that percentage is after we submit it. Do you know if that's before or after our town meeting?
I think that'll be before. So that is a segue to our next slide, and then
Okay.
I'll turn it over to questions. So
Okay.
to date, the school building committee set the scope and budget at last week's meeting. And we're here in front of your boards tonight, as well as FinCom in the audience, to talk about the project, answer questions, and then look for your endorsements from the boards. And the MSBA process is that we will submit on Thursday. They've notified us that they're very busy. Traditionally, we would have that number back by the end of September, so I'm erring on the side that it may be the first week of October or trickle into the second week, but definitely before the second week of October, you will know that number with finality in terms of the exact dollar. They'll reach out to us ahead of time. We'll coordinate with them to kind of fight for you to claw every dollar that we can. That'll be the number that goes in front of the MSBA board on October 29th. That's all locked in. At that point, the funding vote is guaranteed, as long as you deliver on your project and stay within the scope of it. All that money is set aside for the taxpayers of Millis, and it's money that's already funded. The MSBA is a perpetually funded organization. They have 1 penny of every tax dollar that's collected in the state. And so it's not a grant program. It's not something that comes and goes with each administration as they change hands. And so that money is set aside and is continuing flowing. So it's important for the residents to understand that money is not going to go away, because I know colleges and universities are dealing with some of the unrest, if you will, at the federal level that's caused some impacts to some of those grants. But this money is set aside and available as soon as the MSBA does their vote and you guys do your votes. That money's set aside. And then lastly, your 2 meetings are penciled in for November 10th of a fall town meeting, and I believe December 8th is the penciled date for the town ballot. And that last plug is stay connected. We're updating the project website. We do have a project email, so residents can submit questions. And then obviously all of the SBC are publicly posted at meetings that are available via Zoom or in person as available. So I know it's a lot. I have more slides in the back up there, Q&A, but I turn it back to the committees for your questions.
Okay, do you guys have any more questions at the moment? No? Okay. How about you guys? Ellen and Craig, do you guys have any particular questions? Okay. Releasing to the audience, does anybody have a specific question that they would like to ask the committee? Yes.
John Lohr with the Chair of the Finance Committee. In a previous presentation, you had the do-nothing process, the 10-year process, which I think is fantastic. Do you have numbers that go along with that to compare and contrast that to the current numbers that you have with the project? Not necessarily now, but in general.
Yeah, no, so we have those numbers from February. That has not been updated since that point, but we have those numbers and can compare that back to the current proposal that's available for review.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I wrote those down because I was prepping for the meeting too. The R1 and R2, which were just the straight renovation, if I'm not wrong, were 76 million and 70 call it 80 million, 79.7 million, with 4 million contributed by the state for those, dropping it to 72 million or 75.7 million. So basically what it's saying is, just fixing the roof leaks, the HVAC, the toilets, the windows, everything that's broken is gonna cost you, on the cheap side, 72 million. Doing this whole project is going to come at 62 million, is the middle of what I saw tonight. So it's $10 million less expensive to do the right project than to just fix the broken parts of the existing school.
And-
And that's only because of state contributions. That's because the state is paying up to, well, likely 50%. And we'll have a firm number, but about around 50%. So we're gonna spend 62 million to get 125 million, 127 million dollars worth of building.
And that second one is over 10 years, so this
Right.
one is only over 5 years, you said, between now and then.
Well, actually, it's 10 years of renovations. This will be like 2 years of work once it
Right,
starts.
right. The
So that-
option of
yeah.
doing nothing is, or just renovating over the course of a decade,
Yeah.
slowly.
I didn't even list that one. That's the one that's like $80 million, but you do an override every other year for 10 years, which, that's just a nightmare scenario, in my opinion. Yeah.
I just have a question as far as, you mentioned the
Joyce.
blocking. Oh,
Can you say who
Joyce
you are? Thank
Boyardi,
you.
FinCom. Joyce Boyardi, 206 Orchard Street, resident. Yay. You mentioned something about the windows being, some of them being eliminated. Are you planning on darkening? Are you going to be filming them so that they don't let the heat and, you're going to be
So the-
treating the windows?
Yeah, you want to take it?
Yeah, so the windows that would go back in, all the windows will be new. And so there'll be triple pane, triple glazed windows in the new, which is as good as we can get right now. And then where the solid green panels are would be a solid opaque, like wall type material. So it'll be the highest energy performing windows we can get.
Right, but as far as being able to keep light out or light in, heat out, are you going to be coating them with anything? Will you be having shades? What will you be
There'll be
doing?
internal shades, but the energy aspect of the window is in the triple glazing. You've got literally 3 panes of glass
Right.
from the inside to the outside that has
Okay.
gas in between them, and that is what does it. We don't typically put film on windows.
Okay,
So,
just curious.
yeah.
I just wanted to know how they were going to be treated. I understand new, great, state-of-the-art, but if
Yeah.
you'd be doing anything additional, shades?
Yeah,
are the
shades on the inside.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, all
And
right.
just to clarify, the green pieces, which once were windows, are now basically walls.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right, right.
Yeah.
I do want to say I commend you all, everybody that's had a part in this. It's been amazing watching it. So I by no means, I'm like, yay. So.
That was
so-
a good question.
So, yeah, that was
Thank
just
you,
a
Joyce.
question.
That is a great point. Thank you very much for all the work that you guys have put into this, all of you. This is very impressive and very exciting. So I'm personally thrilled. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. All right, so at this point, we will be voting to endorse the recommended scope and budget.
All right, I'll make a motion that the select board vote to endorse the recommendation of the school building committee for the scope and budget of the schematic design package SD to be submitted to the MSBA for middle high school project as presented.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I will do a roll call vote. Ellen? Aye. Craig?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So we have passed unanimously.
I will make a motion for the school committee to endorse the scope and budget that was presented this evening, as presented.
Second?
So it's been moved and seconded, so we'll do a roll call vote for this as well. Robin,
I'm a yes.
Shayna,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well.
Let's see, I make a motion that for the school building committee, that the school building committee authorize the owner's project manager to submit the schematic design report to the MSBA for the middle high school project, subject to any minor adjustments approved through the chair.
Second.
Oh, no, yeah, Robin, you
I
can second,
wanna-
sorry, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm helping
I
you
was
out.
looking behind me.
Yeah.
All right, the motion's been made and seconded, so Robin?
Yes.
All right, Diane? Jim McCaffrey? And Al Bortur?
Yes.
All right, and I'm an
I have
aye
to change
also.
it as
Oh,
well.
and Shane,
Yes.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right, I put you as school committee.
It's totally
That's,
fine.
you're locked in on that, so, all right, the motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, so as we have here, well, first of all, fantastic. Yay, I'm thrilled, if I may say so. Looks like our next item on the agenda are discussion of next steps and fall timeline. Was there something specific that you guys had for that? Or is it just us in our?
Just that
te-
slide
Okay,
that as of now, we'll submit on Thursday. The state will get back to us at that time frame of late September, early October with the final number. They'll go in front of their board on October 29th. Then you'll have the agreement in hand. And then you'll bring it in front of your voters, which Mike has alluded to is November 10th for the special town meeting that I think will be. Regular town meeting, thank you. November 10th, and then the ballot vote, which is penciled in for the December 8th.
yes, correct.
Which will give plenty of time to get word out on flyers and everything else with the cost on it.
And early voting and
Yeah,
everything,
we'll have
yep.
the right numbers, we won't be guessing, and everything will be, signed contract, basically.
Excellent. On the agenda for tonight, we also have a couple other items. We have an approval of invoices and an approval of minutes. Is that you guys? That's not
We
us.
did the invoices before, so.
Yeah, we took care of the invoices. Yeah, so we're gonna, yeah, that was previous, so we'll pass, we have already approved the invoices, and the minutes have not been written.
Okay.
Because the person who does that is on, driving her child to college right now, so.
Okay. All right, well, she's excused. Okay, sounds good. Do we want to start adjourning
I'll make
the
a motion
committees?
to adjourn the select board.
Okay,
Second.
okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the school committee.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the finance committee? Second, and approve, all in favor?
All right.
Thank
and I-
you.
And I make a motion to adjourn the school building committee meeting. All right. Yeah, now you get me confused. Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okey dokey.